Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razek at CMtrading. Today is August 6, 2019. And today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the major economic events today, just one of it earlier this morning came out of Australia. The Royal Bank of Australia had a rate statement. We'll take a look at that as well and how the markets are reacting. Now, looking at the Forex markets, US dollar is mixed. But oh my goodness, look at the Dow Jones selling off massively over 700 points in intraday trading yesterday. But since last week, we've traded down 2,000 points on the Dow Jones. That's a massive sell-off, mostly because of some of this trade war that's unfolding before our eyes between China and the United States. Now, let's looking at commodities. Gold makes new highs on this number, and oil bounces off resistance, so that's an important event. Now, looking at the stocks, they're pretty much all sold off. There's not one sector that I can say, okay, this sold off, and perhaps we're going to have a rotation in the market. This is a bona fide sell-off. Now, lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin gains over 400 points, so there's a little bit of a shift in the market where people are moving from the traditional equities and they're moving their money into things that are a little bit more averse to the market directly. But let's take a look at today's trading and see what we can expect. You can see that we had this
will now be recorded.
So we're jumping here into the Euro USD, and we can see at 111.25ish we had resistance yesterday, but we plowed right through it, okay, with some momentum on the upside, as you can see, and we rallied all the way up to 112.50ish level after retracing about 50 pips. We're trading right now at 120ish level. Now, this has to really show itself that it's a bona fide rally, and I'd like to see this really sustain itself. Okay, it may come down to this 11.25ish level, which is another 75 pips. But I'd like to see some momentum here. I'd like to see some correction. This is capitulating down to this 110 level. Now, looking at the GBP/USD, dead, not even bouncing. Okay, so I do expect this to sell off at another point, and this is really just a disaster for the British economy. Now, looking at the Australian dollar with this number coming out, markets retaliated on the downside versus the dollar, and we're making yearly lows. Okay, multi-yearly lows. We got to go into a weekly chart to see that. Look at that. Since 2015, we haven't been at this low, and that means we could even make it break down further, down to the 66.55ish level possibly, and that will bring us to the low of 2008. Okay, so this is a massive sell-off for the Aussie dollar versus the US dollar. Now, looking at the commodities, gold made that momentum, continued that momentum, broke above this 1450-ish level, capitulated at 1472. We're trading at 1462 right now. Now, this also has to maintain its momentum for this to be a bona fide rally. Okay, so with that said, okay, since we haven't been at this area, okay, since we've broken this resistance since 2012, when we hit a high of 1888. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to go back there right away. Okay, but it all depends on the Dow Jones and how it's going to respond to future trading. Okay, now looking at the commodity, the other commodity, looking at oil, we did bounce off of our support there at 54.65 just mildly, but it's trading sideways, which is a good indication that let oil continue being relatively inexpensive for travelers, so on and so forth, and making a little bit of inflation, staving off inflation as well. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, I mean, you can't say more than that. Okay, look at that. That's a nosedive. That's a ridiculous chart. Okay, we were challenged on this upper level several times. It would have been, I don't know, a high probability trade to short it up here because there was no impetus. It wasn't like the markets were selling off or the stocks were starting to sell off, but things were not necessarily going higher. Apple was going higher, Microsoft was going higher, after coming out with really great earnings. So I'm more inclined to think that this is just a reason for everybody to take money off the table and to sell it off. I don't think that we're going to, with these type of bull markets, we're in a situation where the sell-offs are very sharp and very extreme, but at the same time, the markets are overreacting, okay, which is very reminiscent of 2000 to the year 2099, okay, where the markets were trading in so much volatility. Now, it's aggravated that much more because the numbers are much higher. Okay, back in 2000, we were trading about 12,000. to the Dow Jones. Now we're trading at 27. Well, right now 25,600 is level. So it's all relative. Okay, so a 2,000 point move on 25,000 is not that big of a deal. Okay, as much as 1,000 point relative to a 12,000 Dow Jones market. Okay, so just give you perspective or percentages here, and that's where we really pay attention to percentage. Now, there will be a balance. The question is when and how. Okay, you capitulated down to 25,000 flat yesterday. Okay, which would have been the perfect place to really pick it up because that was a place where we were challenged before several times. But you can see that we have that balance already. So we're at 25,600 level. The question is that is it going to continue bouncing today? And I'd like to see some stocks actually pick up in order for that to actually trade. Now, looking at Microsoft, it sold off. Okay, did it sell off relatively as much as the market did? It did not. Okay, so it's still relatively strong. And if there was one that I was going to look to counter the way, it's probably Microsoft. So we look at Apple, really weak. Okay, and this is after it came out with stellar reports. Look at Facebook, it's still very weak. Okay, looking at Google, it's still very weak. So looking at the fan stocks all together, they're pretty weak. Okay, besides Microsoft, it's not a FANG stock, but it's relatively strong. So if we do get a little bit of a bounce later today, that's something to look at as that market changes. Now, looking at Bitcoin, lastly, we continued to rally yesterday from the 10,000 mark. Okay, we rallied into this 11,678 mark after trading above this 10,300 level. Amazing, trading volatility, amazing trading opportunities. Okay, for those that are scalping it, fantastic. It still has way to go. Okay, there's a matter of resistance at 1199. Okay, 11,919 level, as you saw that we retraced from that. But the real resistance is at 13,000. Okay, so as we get closer to that, that's something to consider. This is Fred Ray. I wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.